And it's BM time! Oh yes, the final Hunter spec we're going to look at before Warlords of Draenor launches. I've seen many of your comments and of course your emails regarding how is the finale looking? Is there some hope? Because of course, yes, we did look at survival. It is fun to play, in my opinion, but of course it is nerfed into the ground. It even received recent nerfs as of today when this video was posted. The worst of the Hunter specs in terms of its DPS and the most fun to play was nerfed again. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I wish I could, but that is the situation. I assume the other specs are going to get nerfed as well, is all I would say. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're talking about Beastmaster. Where do we even start here? Where do we start? I'll tell you where we start. We start in Mists of Pandaria because it's exactly the same. It's tried to undergo some changes, and if I'm being totally fucking honest with you, as somebody who plays a Hunter casually, it's never been something that's appealed to me. When I discuss classes that I might choose to raid on in Warlords of Draenor, one of the big things about Hunters I said is, you know, I was waiting for some change. All the specs felt too samey, there was no variation, nothing going on, and you always have that hope in the back of your mind as somebody who's interested in a Hunter, has had fun on a Hunter, and wants you guys to do well on a Hunter and have fun at the same time, is that you'll be able to have some variation. Change it up, have a little bit of a taste of something else every now and again. Everybody might have a favourite drink, but every now and again you want to taste something else, even if it's just to remind you of how good your favourite drink is. They tried different things over the course of Warlords of Draenor. It's been an interesting experience for BM. I tried it in Alpha. It was one of the second or third videos I made, actually, was the BM Hunter, and how disappointed I was that it was just lacking in any sort of flavour, and the name Beastmaster actually made no fucking sense, because Beastmaster seems to mean kill command, and that is about it. And beyond that, they tried different things over the course. We had things like removal of stuff, bringing stuff back in, mixing and matching, and then ultimately we got the blog post, the big fucking blog post, because Hunters were upset. They were genuinely upset. Yeah, they were upset with the state Hunters were in. They seem to be getting no love, no attention. Tons of feedback coming from Hunters. All of it gripes and just waiting for Blizz to say something. In fact, the announcement that there were to be no major class changes, Colossus Smash, was actually in a blog post about Hunters that, frankly, the boat had sailed. There was no time to do anything else. And when it came to Beastmaster, they just said, well, you know what? It's too late to do anything else. We're just going to give you focus fire back. And it's basically exactly the fucking same. But don't worry, guys, because all the depth comes from the talents. All the depth comes from the talents, and how incredibly hollow those words ring out when the talents that are exactly the same for all three specs means that's where your character depth is. My God. Where do we even say? So, as usual, you're going to be basically just trying to burst during Bestial Wrath, the most ultimately boring cooldown in history, so watered down from its original intention. Just a nice damage bonus every 1 minute. And it kind of reminds me of Pillar of Frost. It's like, hey, so boring. And of course, your shots still cost 50% less, which means you're going to stack up your focus to use that. And outside of that, you're going to be regaining focus and using things like Focus Fire. And essentially where the depth comes from is when to use Focus Fire and when not. When do you strip your pet of its frenzy and all that kind of stuff. And there's still some math working out on whether it's going to be worth it here and there. But ultimately, that's it. Beyond that, you're just going to be rocking the kill command, which is still nightmarishly bad in most situations. I would love to see kill command just involve a pounce of some kind. We still, even with blink strikes, which is essentially mandatory, as I find for BM, which I find ridiculous. I gotta point this out here. I find it absolutely ridiculous that blink strike does feel mandatory if you're, especially in dungeons where you're swapping targets a lot, when Stampede and Murder of Crows is in the same tier. Now, when I say mandatory, it obviously isn't mandatory, but you will see a huge benefit from blink strikes in many occasions. Trust me, you will see that once you get into there. If it's a static boss fight, it's obviously a variation on that. But Stampede, I would love to have just seen that become BM only. Stampede is such a niche BM spell to unleash the fucking pets. Murder of Crows is wonderful now. Had huge redesign to make it more powerful. But again, in dungeons and stuff, as BM, where your pet is contributing so much, blink strikes does feel somewhat mandatory. It really does, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad that that rocks into the same tier as something that should be baseline in form of Stampede, and the option to use Murder of Crows, which is also a really fantastic spell. Again, a little bit sad, not much we can do about that. We lost Serpent Sting, so you're basically relying on your kill command and your pet to be in range, which sometimes it's not. And we're doing Cobra Shot and Arcane Shot. That's it. 3 abilities. That's it. That's all you're getting. 3 abilities. That's it. Nothing more. And on top of that, your talents are going to rock in there as well. Does that mean it's a terrible spec? Fuck no. This is your cleave spec. This is what this is. Beast Cleave has always been pretty powerful. Right now, though, Beast Cleave is an absolute joke. It's ridiculous. And every time you're going to be doing some AoE, you're just so focused on keeping Beast Cleave up. And I say again, and I hate to be a negative fucking... I hate to be negative. I really do. I want you guys to be happy. Beast Cleave is nothing to do with you. You press multi-shot every few seconds to make sure Beast Cleave is up. I would like to say you've got to track this, guys. You've got to fucking tell me when going in a weak aura and a fucking big sledgehammer swinging into your face to track Beast Cleave. You don't. It lasts long enough, so you basically just make sure you multi-shot every now and again. If you use Thrill of the Hunt, then it's just doing it. And you can't really see it. Your pet's doing it, which is fine. You are BM. It would be nice to see some Ravages coming out of there, blood splurting up or something along those lines. Something to make it more interesting from a personal point of view. My God. So, in some AoE situations, you're talking 70% of your damage is Beast Cleave just by keeping it up. And you don't really see anything happening there. You're just firing the odd multi-shot every now and again, which hits like a wet fish. But there you go. Your pet's doing the damage, which is BM-ish. Don't get me wrong. It is based around Beast Mastery, so that's one way to go. You do pack a ton of utility, which I'm going to talk about in the next video, which is like an overall hunter view. But in terms of BM specifically, it's what it is on MOP. If you like it on MOP, if you like it in MOP and you're happy with the way BM plays, and hell, let's just fucking say it. If you like the fact that hunter specs don't change too much, and you can basically, if you can play one, you can play them all, essentially, you're in good shape, guys, for Warlords of Draenor. You're in fucking good shape. If you were hoping for the changes that were kind of promised, and I say that, they were promised. Yeah? Blizzard said they were going to do some stuff to add spice and add variety. It's not happened. In BM's case specifically, very much the same as Survival. They tried stuff, didn't work, ran out of time, and just threw it back to how it was in Mists of Pandaria and said, look, that's what works. We're keeping it as is. Stop fucking asking. Basically, that's it. We can't do anything else. We're out of time. We haven't got the investment to overhaul the specs entirely. So this is how it's going to be. We didn't like all the changes we proposed for Warlords of Draenor, so we kicked it back. The Hunter is, unfortunately, and BM is one of the prime examples, the one that has not seen any modernization, any evolution, and any growth. In fact, I think this summarizes it up in a conclusion, is Lone Wolf, which is the level 100 talent that's available to both Survival and to Marksmen to play without a pet, a godsend to most hunters who like to stick to their main class and are sick and tired of the issues pets cause. Obviously, by default, there's no way BM can play without a pet, and the solution to that, I think, sums up the entire mediocrity of the spec so far, is that you get adaptation. Increase the effect of your pet's combat experience to 85% increased damage. Your pet now gains all the raws. Have you ever heard anything so fucking boring in your life? When you hit level 100, your pet will do more damage. This is Preacher signing off on the Hunter. See you guys.